All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second quarter. This is your first homework assignment for the second quarter. We're doing the CPM book 2.1.2. All right, you can turn back to that, sort of go through these problems. Um, if we're not assigning you to read these things, there's nothing wrong with you going through any of those things and definitely asking questions. Okay, ideally in class, we have you for again 265 minutes a week instead of in Zoom for 60 minutes a week. So there's things we're cutting some corners, right? So if you can have some time to do this kind of thing, you will be better off, okay, especially if you're asking questions. I also want to point out when they have these things called methods and meanings in your book, those are great things to not just go over, but copy into your math folders, right? This kind of stuff is great for you to copy and learn. Now, this here with displays of data, you might have noticed that we're doing a lot of displays of data, graphs, and data analysis, and mean, median, mode, averages, things like that, in science. So if you copy this in science, it wouldn't be the worst thing, right? You can put in math over science. There's a bunch of overlap there. All right, anyway, on to the problems, okay? If you're using your book like I am with my coffee stains and stuff, you're on page 61, okay? And we're just going to do all those problems, 2-15 all the way through 2-19, okay? The first set of problems is having to do with patterns again. Okay, some review of patterns. Again, don't forget the easiest 3 points in any assignment. You can time me here. Takes about 30 to 40 seconds. And what it is the perfect heading, right? You're putting your name first and last. Start capitalizing these things. You're going to lose points if you don't. You're putting the date. Today is October 19th. 2020. And if you're working out of the book or something like that, you can put the problems, right? You can write something like lesson 2.1.2 and problems numbers 2-15 all the way through 2-19. Okay, and then you start doing the problems. Now that didn't take long, and you got 3 points if you've done that, right? Do it with me when you're watching these videos, okay? Now, the patterns in A, they list it this way, right? 5, 14, 23, 32. Because I like in and out so much, I will often list them vertically instead of horizontally. But this isn't bad either. Usually when I'm looking for a pattern, I'm trying to figure out the difference between consecutive numbers. So what's the difference between 14 and 5? That looks like it's 9. What's the difference between 23 and 14? That's also 9. 32, oh, well, it's 3 in a row. We're pretty sure we have the pattern. Okay, so what's going to happen? You add 9 to 41 and you get 50. Okay, and then 50 plus 9 is easy, 59, and then 59 plus 9 is 68. I'm putting a box around my answers and a big box around my problem. Okay, great way to organize your work. Now I'm going to B, make sure you put that right parentheses, right? We're using letters sometimes in our math, right? When they stand for variables, we don't want to mix up the problem number or problem name with the problem itself. So let's make sure we're not doing that. All right, this time I'm going 3, 6, 12, 24, 48. And when I see the difference here, I get 3. I see the difference here, I get 6. And the difference between 12 and 24 is, and so I see a weird pattern coming here, right? It's like the difference is that first number. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. So the difference between 48 and the next one is going to be 48. 48 plus 48 is 96. And the difference between the next one should be 96. 96 and 96. What's another way of looking at this besides saying I'm going to add a number to itself? 7 plus itself is 14. 8 plus itself is 16. What's another way of identifying that? Anybody figure it out? 384, right? 384. So I have the next three numbers. Um, Back to my question. Anybody figure it out? It's doubling or multiplying by 2, right? So if I want to do this homework correctly, I'm just not just giving the math answers here, right? But it says to explain. If it says to explain, you need to explain, right? That's the rule. You follow the directions of the homework, follow the directions that people give you on tests or directions and stuff like that. Follow those directions, okay? So if you were to not do that part, you'd lose some points, okay? Explain the pattern in words. So each number is going up by 9. I'm adding 9 to each number. There's a lot of different ways to explain that. Increasing. Okay. What's happening here? You could say I'm adding the previous number. I like to say I'm multiplying. I'm doubling each number. So I'm going to say you double, and in parentheses I'm going to write times 2 each number. Okay, and then a big box around our answers, right? Okay, 216, what are we doing there? That is what kind of graph? It kind of looks like a bar graph, but there's no space in between. And each bar isn't representing one thing. Okay, there's not one thing that's representing here, right? What's going on? It's representing a range of data, space. So all the way between 0 and 2 goes here, between 2 and 4 goes here, between 4 and 6 goes here, between 6 and 8 goes, right? And this is the number of people, right? And up here is the number of responses. Okay, how many classmates were surveyed? Okay, well, this is the number of people. So let me see. There were 2 plus 3 plus 5, that's 10, 15, 16 different people. Okay, that's if everybody had one response. Okay, so it looks like 16 people were surveyed. And you might put that 16 people, 16 classmates were surveyed. That means they were asked the question for this graph. All right. How many classmates have 8 or 9 people at home for dinner? 8 or 9. So that's between 8. It looks like only one. One person had between 8 and 9 people home for dinner. Hopefully you write neater than Mr. Daniel. All right, on to the next one. Can you tell which is the most common number of people at home for dinner? Most common, that's going to be the most responses, huh? Well, it looks like between 4 and 8, right? Because these are a tie. So I'd say between 4 and 6, but it's both of those. So you can't tell one number. So why or why not? You can't tell one number, but it's somewhere between 4 and 8, it looks like, right? I guess. Yeah, you can't tell one number though, because all of these could be 3. All these could be 2. Half of these could be 4 and half could be 5. Half could be 6, half could be 7. So really, here's kind of cool way to look at this. This 3 or 2 could be more than all of these if these were evenly distributed between 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. So no, you can't tell. And that's because you have a range of data. Okay, I am going to have you guys start 217 and 218. This has gotten you a great start. If you've gotten this far, you have your 3 points here. You probably have another 2 points here, right? You have at least 5 or 6 points on this homework assignment already. You try to do 217, 218, 219. And what I will do is I will come back later and give you the rest of the answers, okay?